and a warm welcome to State of Business on Arch Television. I'm Heshain Ali and let's have a look at the headlines first. The European Union laments over the import restrictions imposed by Sri Lanka. The underlying theme of the SLPP government's maiden budget is steady growth and assistance of each stakeholder in the process is a must, State Minister stresses. News in detail. Former State Minister of Finance of Yahapalene regime and Samiki Jana Balawegaya parliamentarian Eran Wickramaratne says that the government is misleading the public with unrealistic statistics in the appropriation bill for 2021. He made this criticism speaking at the second reading debate of Budget 2021 that continued for the second consecutive day today in Parliament.
දෙදස් විසියකේදී රාජ්‍ය ආදායම රුපියල් බිලියන 2029ක් දක්වා වැඩි කරන්න යනවා කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ රජයේ ලේඛනය අනුව 128කින් වර්ධනය වෙන්න අවශ්‍යයි. නමුත් අපේ තක්සේරුව අනුව 144කින් රාජ්‍ය ආදායම වැඩි කර යුතුයි. අන්න එතන තමයි ප්‍රශ්නය තියෙන්නේ. අපේ රටේ පසුගිය අවුරුදු 20ක අයවැය බලපුවාම අපි දන්නවා රාජ්‍ය ආදායම වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ 5-15වත් අතරේ. ඒ තමයි අපේ රටේ අත්දැකීම. එහෙම පසුබිමක එක වසරක් තුල මේ අදාහගත නොහැකි වර්ධනයක් කොහොමද අපිට විශ්වාස කරන්නට පුළුවන්? කාවද මේ රවට්ටවන්න හදන්නේ? In this budget there was not enough attention paid to the vulnerability of the poor and also the falling middle class. People pay taxes because of the social contract. We have a responsibility as those who govern, to those who are being governed, to make sure that they are protected. The environment, the forest environment must be protected for our future generations.
In the meantime, President Gotabaya Rajapaksa arrived at the Parliament complex and witnessed the ongoing debate of the second reading of the Budget 2021. This is the first time that the President entered the Parliament after the ceremonial opening of the first session of the 9th Parliament. President left the Parliament premises at around 1:50 p.m. today. State Minister of Samurdhi, Household Economy, Microfinance, Self-Employment Business Development, Shehan Semisingh stresses that the tax policy mentioned in the Appropriation Bill 2021 is fixed and will not be changed appositely as in the Yahapalene regime, and he calls the investors to invest in the country with that confidence.
අපි විශේෂයෙන්ම කියන්න ඕනි මේ සංඛ්‍යාලේඛන විද්‍යාවක් හැටියට පෙන්වන්න හදන කණ්ඩායම් වලට අපි ඔවුන් විසින් කරපු සංඛ්‍යාලේඛන විද්‍යාව තමයි මේ නිවැරදි කරන්න යන්නේ. ගරු කතානායකතුමනි, our effort is to rectify the fraud what they did. The fraud what they did, we have rectified it. That is what we have done. මම දැක්ක ඉරාන් වික්‍රමරත්න මහත්මයා උදේ කියනවා ඔවුන් ලබාගත්ත ට්‍රිලියන 5ක ණය ප්‍රමාණය අද අපේ ආණ්ඩුව අරගෙන තියෙනවා කියලා. මම ඉරාන් වික්‍රමරත්න මහත්මයාට කියනවා අපි ගරු කරපු හිටපු මුදල් නියෝජ්‍ය මුදල් ඇමතිවරයෙක් පුළුවන් නම් පෙන්වන්න කොතනද මේ ඔවුන් ගත්ත ට්‍රිලියන 5ක ණය ප්‍රමාණය අපේ ආණ්ඩුව අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ කියලා. හැබැයි අපි දන්නවා මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ ජනාධිපතිතුමාගේ යුගයේ ට්‍රිලියන 7ක් වෙච්ච ණයබර ට්‍රිලියන 13 ඉක්මවල අරන් ගිහිල්ලා රටේ ජනතාවට ලැබිච්ච සහනයක් නැහැ ගරු කතානායකතුමනි. ඒ හින්දා බය වෙන්නේ නැතුව කිසිම සැකයක් තියාගන්න නැතුව මේ විශ්වාසයත් එක්ක මේ රටේ ආයෝජන කරන්න, ව්‍යාපාර කරන්න, අනිකුත් කටයුතු කරන්න තව සහන ලබා දීම අවශ්‍ය නම් අපි මේ සෑම ශේෂ්ත්‍රයක්ම නිකන් නෙමෙයි ගරු කතානායකතුමනි, ශේෂ්ත්‍රයක් වශයෙන් අරගෙන රටේ උන්නතිය යහපත වෙනුවෙන් අපි ඒ සහන ලබා දෙන්න සූදානම්.
Frontline Socialist Party says that majority has failed to define the Appropriation Bill 2021 properly and have begun to comment this as a neutral budget. FLSP's Politburo member Pupudu Jagoda, speaking to the media yesterday, said that this is a budget which carries fire under the water and the bitter effects could be seen only after a few more years.
සමස්ත බදු ආදායමෙන් 77.5ක්ම තියෙන්නේ සාමාන්‍ය ජනතාව මත. දැන් අපි 2019 අවුරුද්දත් එක්ක මේක සංසන්දනය කරද්දී බදු ආදායම රුපියල් බිලියන 1358ක ඉඳලා 1724 දක්වා 126කින් වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ 126කින් වැඩි වෙද්දී ඉහළ ආදායම් ලබන සමාගම් වලින් අය කරන බදු වැඩි කළා නෑ ඒ ප්‍රතිශතයෙන්. ඒක වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ බිලියන 324 ඉඳලා 371 දක්වා 14.5%කින්. නමුත් සාමාන්‍ය ජනතාවගේ භාණ්ඩ හා සේවා මත අය කරන බද්ද 2019 දී රුපියල් බිලියන 1034ක ඉඳලා 2021 දී රුපියල් බිලියන 1353ක් දක්වා 130.85කින් වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒක වැඩි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ දැන් ජනතාවට බදු සහන මුකුත් නෑ. ජනතාවට කිසිදු බදු සහනයක් නෑ. සමාගම් වලට තමයි බදු සහන දීලා තියෙන්නේ. දැන් මේකේ අගමැතිවරයා මුදල් අමාත්‍යවරයා ප්‍රකාශ කරා කොටස් වෙළඳපොළ ලියාපදිංචි සමාගම් වලට 150ක බදු සහනයක් ලබා දෙනවා කියලා. මේක පිළිබඳ එළියට sannivedana වෙලා තියෙන මේක පතෝල අයවැයක් කියලා. මේක හොඳත් නැති නරකත් නැති සෙමට අගුණත් නැති වාතයට අගුණත් නැති පිත්තට අගුණත් නැති අයවැයක් වගේ එකක් තමයි එළියට බැලුවම පේන්න තියෙන්නේ. නමුත් ඇත්තම තත්ත්වය ඒක නෙවෙයි. මේක පතෝල අයවැයක් නෙවෙයි. මේක දී යටින් ගින්දර ගෙනියන අයවැයක්.
State Minister of Money and Capital Market and State Enterprise Reforms, Ajit Niwad Cabral, said that the underlying theme of the SLPP government's maiden budget is the steady growth, and the government expects assistance of each and every stakeholder in the process. State Minister Cabral made these observations addressing the annual budget seminar organised by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Sri Lanka in Colombo this morning.
That one of the key areas that this government is keen to usher in is steady growth. Growth is essential if this country is to move forward. Now that is the underlying theme of this entire budget. You would find that we want to see growth being done through the government. We want to see growth even more interestingly done through the private sector. The private sector has been given an enormous amount of space as well as incentives to come and deliver on this growth story. They have to deliver that. That's why I think it's particularly important that institutions like the CA, Chartered Accountants, rise to the occasion, because you have a very, very key role to play. You've got to bring in investment to this country. Investment to be brought into this country is not only the responsibility of the Board of Investment. It's not only the responsibility of the government and ministers. It's your responsibility too. If you strive hard, bring the right messages, give the necessary assistance to the private sector individuals as well as to the foreign investors, I'm sure we can bring in a lot of investment into this country. Just yesterday, the new airport expansion was launched. It's a $131 billion, almost $600 million investment, which is going to drive this country forward. Tomorrow, the tyre factory in the Hambantota area is going to be launched. That's another $300 million investment that can reach up to $450 million. So COVID has not put a dampener on these projects.
Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The European Union has renewed its concerns over the import restrictions imposed by the government of Sri Lanka due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Colombo-based heads of missions representing the European Union and its member states made this statement after a series of high-level meetings, including with Minister of Foreign Affairs Dinesh Gunawardena. Accordingly, issuing a statement together with the embassies of France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands and Romania, the EU states that the current import restrictions in Sri Lanka are having a negative impact on Sri Lankan and European businesses and on foreign direct investment. Such measures impair Sri Lanka's efforts to become a regional hub and negatively impact Sri Lankan exports by constraining the import of raw material and machinery, the joint statement said. EU recalls that a prolonged import ban is not in line with World Trade Organization regulations. The EU renders a long-standing support for Sri Lanka as a reliable partner with over €1 billion of grants over the last 25 years, notwithstanding the member states' bilateral assistance. In addition, the EU is a crucial economic partner for Sri Lanka, and thanks to the EU's special generalized system of preferences, Sri Lanka enjoys competitive, predominantly duty and quota-free access to the EU market based on the continued implementation of 27 international conventions on human rights, labour, environment, climate change and good governance. Not least due to these unilateral trade preferences, the EU is the second biggest export market for Sri Lanka worldwide, with a positive trade balance of more than €1 billion in 2018 and 2019. Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa yesterday launched the 107 billion rupees worth Phase 2 of Bandaranaike International Airport expansion project, which is funded by the Japanese government. The BIA project Phase 2 marked the construction of a new multi-level passenger terminal building, which will increase the passenger handling capacity of the BIA to approximately 15 million passengers per annum. The project is scheduled to reach completion in 3 years, and the new multi-level terminal would expand over an area of 180,000 square meters. It will entail separate departure and arrival terminals, making the airport more passenger-friendly. The State Minister D.V. Chanaka added that the advanced technology utilized for this project would help to save 40% water and 20% energy, making the second phase development of the BIA a green project. In addition to the building of the second terminal, the airport will have its parking capacity expanded with the construction of a 5-storied parking area. Also, all the entry roads to BIA will be developed under the project, while the infrastructure facilities will be uplifted as well. Ambassador of Japan to Sri Lanka, Akira Sugiyama, Tourism Minister Prasanna Rantunga and several others attended the event. Minister of Education Professor G.L. Piri states that schools will reopen for grades 6 and above from next Monday. However, he further added that this will not apply to the schools in the Western Province and areas currently under lockdown. Furthermore, it was told that the students in the Western Province are not allowed to attend schools outside the province margins, while the students outside the Western Province are also not allowed to attend schools in the Western Province. Education Minister added that considering the inconsistencies in schools which are allowed to reopen from next Monday, the decisions with regard to each school will be made by a committee led by the principal of each school. Formerly, the third term for schools was set to commence on November 9th, but it was postponed by 2 weeks due to the COVID-19 outbreak in the country. In the meantime, the Director General of Health Services, Dr. Asela Gunawardena, added that a special ambulance service will be launched in isolated areas within the limits of Colombo Municipal Council from tomorrow. More details in this regard can be obtained by contacting the telephone number 011 3422 558. In the meantime, 3 COVID-19 deaths were confirmed by health authorities yesterday, bringing the total number of COVID-19 related deaths in the island to 69. Moreover, the dual COVID-19 cluster that emerged from Dulapitia and Paliagudi yesterday expanded with 327 new cases identified within yesterday. According to the Department of Government Information, 325 cases were contacts of the Paliaguda COVID-19 cluster, while 2 were overseas arrivals. Moreover, the total number of coronavirus recoveries reported in the country reached 12,903 today, as 316 individuals infected with COVID-19 were discharged upon returning to health. Welcome back after the break. The trading at Colombo Stock Exchange ended on a negative note today. The all-share price index dropped 47.33 points to close at 6,060.89, and the S&P SL20 dropped 9.38 points to close at 2,387.88. Turnover was 1.4 billion rupees and over 92 million shares were traded. Up next are Forex rates. And with that, we'll be winding up for today. See you tomorrow with State of Business at the usual time. Until then, take care and good night.